check his mic.
All right.
1, 2, 1, 2. How y'all doing?
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to a special episode of the Health Tech Talk Show and Coffee Talk from NIHB. I am sitting here with,
Chance Rush, what's up?
and obviously,
Robert Coffey.
Mr. Thunder itself.
Hey, welcome to this show, Coffee Talk. We're really excited here. We are actually live from the National Health Board Conference here in Chandler, Arizona. And I have here my brother from another mother.
Let's go.
You know,
welcome to a special episode. We're having some technical difficulties as we normally would.
So anyway, my brother, Chance Rush, MC extraordinaire, former collegiate champion runner, also,
You name it.
you actor,
Author.
Why don't you tell us what stuff that you participated in? Maybe we don't know.
First of all, to be here. Speaker, pastor, actor. About to drop a book, in the beginning of the month. Yeah, chance happened. I'm gonna be something. So, it's just a self-motivational book of something I went through growing up, and it all kind of was inspired by meeting 1964 Olympic gold medalist Billy Mills at our powwow up in North Dakota, and then just he came to my school 4 years later in Oklahoma, and when I was listening to him, I was thinking, man, we have a lot of similarities. And so it triggered me just to be a runner, to be a track athlete. And people were outgrowing me, people were out strengthening me. So got into running and ran myself from special ed classes into regular school to becoming a state champion multiple times. Yeah, 4-time state champion. Did a track scholarship, became a 2-time national champion. But the story of it is using your talents for personal growth. A big shout out to the late Jared Cook, who inspired me to promote that. Use your talents for personal growth. And so my way of communicating has always been through whether it's humor or prayer or encouragement. And, I bought a website back in 2000 called chancerush.com. And honestly, I never looked back. So pretty much just the story of, what chance happened was like, it was up to me to be who I want to be today. So,
you're right about that. Billy Mills came to Zapalpa, and when you see that clip of him winning the 10,000 in Tokyo Olympics, I mean, after that, you can't help but be inspired. And all of our cross country team, our coach would make us watch Running Break, like the right before preseason, in August, and then we still run 4 miles, but we would all be inspired by him and being runners. But you took that to a different level. I remember, like I said, you come from a long line of gifted runners, from native runners in Oklahoma. Donnie Child,
Skeet
Wilson Pipes, and so there's a legacy of that, and to see you take that, branch that off. I'm excited to see that book. So
I know. Yeah, it's gonna be self-published. I'm excited about it. It has 7 chapters. I just do a couple more chapters in there, but the last chapter is called Fast Forward, and it was just pretty neat to. Almost in a way, get Billy's permission to write a chapter about him, and not even just Billy, but also Pat. She's been, really inspirational in my life just by, not letting up, not giving up. And both of them, they've always been like, hey, listen, you don't have to be an actor or a gold medalist or anybody spectacular that Indian country always wants out there. Just be you. And honestly, be a child of God. That's the most important thing. Be a vessel, and that's what I ultimately want to be. My goal in life, honestly, is not to be the super Indian. My goal in life is not even to, know God, but God. So that's
yeah. Now you mentioned earlier that you're a pastor now. Is that Eddie Lindsay's church?
Oh my goodness, Pastor Eddie, you've been there. You've been there, boss. You've been
Yeah,
there.
I've been there. I used to go to the missions with this friend.
Yeah, man. The crazy thing about Pastor Eddie is you can go into church and man, he'll preach the word, and you're like, man, did mom call you? Did mom call you? Like, because it's just like man, his message and this wording is just so like it's about man, like what are you doing type of thing, And so just to join an Indian community church in the city, and get my license, whatever it may be from him. And that's always been, that's always been the goal. Just, like I said, I love standing for people. I love encouraging others, but it's our creator, it's our heavenly father that, we all, need to understand, and that's the beauty, he made us indigenous, he made us native, he made us cultural. And, to anybody out there, man, it's okay, how you think, what you feel, whatever it may be, but, have that spirituality, have that prayer, have that importance of, that holistic time, that is so important to me, and for a lot of years, I've always kind of been worried about what the Indian country thinks or says, but, the more that you pay attention to what God's plan is for you, I mean, you just like, man, I just want to be a vessel. I may not stand behind a pulpit. I may not, go overseas and do mission work, but getting on that mic and encouraging people and making people laugh and having that personal time away, just to encourage, the word of God is important to me, and he made me native. He made me, adopted. He gave me a clan. He okayed me to go into ceremony. He okayed me to go into sweat. He okayed me to go into the arena and wear my regalia. And he okayed me to, be a gore dancer, traditional dancer, whatever it may be, So, not to get off topic, but like chance happened, just like anybody in this room, you guys have. Yes.
No, you're in it right because the spirit comes and takes you, and you see doors opening for you sometimes that you would never thought that these doors. I mean, would you ever thought when you were running that back then that you would be here talking and seeing thousands of people all over, it seemed like every year, every week, and you even get, your comedy.
Yeah.
How did you even get involved?
It's so unreal. It's so unreal. Like, it's funny story. So I guess I'll just use the word comedy. So I had my aunt Delaware. She was on a comedy show called the Aboriginal Kings of Comedy in downtown Albuquerque, New Mexico, right? So I'm in line, and I kept bobbing. I kept telling my aunt, man, I could be funny, man, I could be funny. And then there was a guy who was actually walking down the hall, walking down the line because we were all trying to get in, and I didn't have a ticket or anything. And I was thinking, well, I was gonna say I'm Della's nephew. And there was a guy in Wallace who comes walking up, and he says, hey man, change rush. So my man, that's me. He said, man, come on up here, man. So he got me in, and he said, okay, man. He goes, you got 10 seconds to go out there and rock it because we're still waiting for everybody to get in. And I go backstage, and I'm not kidding you, bro. I'm sitting there with Don Stick. I'm sitting with Papa. I'm sitting there with Vincent Craig. I'm sitting there with Charlie Hill. And I have 10 minutes to just get out there and rock it, So I open it up. I talk about my Indian car. I talk about my mama. I talk about, my auntie.
Yeah.
I talk about how a lot of Native women wear clothes that don't fit them, but I think it's.
I feel like you've said that emceeing.
Yeah.
It's like maybe last year.
Maybe.
I have to say, you have more spirituality. And
Yeah. So, yeah.
It's fun. It's really fun to watch.
So I think, that's what allowed me to be here. I think it's just like, that's my way of communicating. It's just to be funny and to be in there and be God and give good medicine. That's what we should do every single day. And I literally sat on the front row yesterday, and I bowed my head and I said, man, you know what? Like, this is one of the greatest conferences out there in communities, because it focuses on health, and of all people that get to do this, all the great MCs out there. There's so many, anybody have great voices. voices that can come and share and be the master of ceremonies. But, yeah, men might have called me, brother man here might have been on the board to do, hey, give him a call. But I know that God set this up. Really, like, personally, worldly, I would have never thought I could do a lot of stuff. Spiritually and being a believer, I know when these doors open up, it's like, yeah, man, I'm ready.
Yeah.
And I may not be your typical, like missionary. I may not be your typical preacher, but I may not, wear a button up and go to bolo. But this is my style. My style is to go out and pray to people on the spot. God loves me this way, and I'm grateful.
And then we as Native people, we always joke and tease. Even last night, we had this guy. We call him no ways. But you mentioned my dad. I just turned 55 this year, brother, and then I realized technically an elder. And then so I was talking to my dad. I said, "Does that mean I get elder payment now?" He goes, "No, you're not there yet. But you're the two again." I said, I was thinking, what is two again? And I was thinking 2E, one of our warrior societies. But he goes, no next society. Yes. He said, that's what you are. I love the no next society.
You still got 1 million now. You better be part of the No Next Society. If you are, you better get unsociety. You better get an unsociety.
So, but and we were talking about that too last night. We as Native people, we love to tease, we love to joke. And if we didn't do that, you probably want to be hanging around us. That's the answer.
Yeah.
But it's good medicine though, when you can share a meal and laugh, and enjoy someone's company rather more. Right. And how you make people laugh out there. Like yesterday, it was perfect when you said, guys, whenever this, so tell the guy,
Yeah, tell us you look good.
You look good.
Yeah.
For the guy. That was great.
That's
Yeah. Everyone was cracking.
Right.
I just want to open it up because, this is normally Coffee Talk takes a little bit differently and he takes open questions. So I just wanted to open up the floor at any point. We're going to continue our conversation, but if anybody is logged in and has a question that wants to be asked, please do so. That's why I have my phone in my hand so I can see and ask those questions. But continue the conversation.
Please ask the question. So you got the book, you MCN, you also, tell us about some of what you have anything coming up that you're.
I'm just going to leave that up to God. It was pretty cool. COVID happened, and actually before COVID happened, I was out in DC, and Mary Catherine Nagel was having sovereignty, was playing. See, I was like, I know her. Her name was on the. Her name was on the. I know her. So I tried to get in. They wouldn't let me in, and then I called her. She was being a lawyer somewhere. She couldn't answer. She's been in love somewhere with John Dibbs. They were just packing a date. Yeah, they packing a date or something. I'm sitting there trying to call from DC, and I couldn't get in. And I was like, man, I want to be an actor one day. And then honestly, it came to Tulsa, and they were auditioning for it. I went auditioned for Wadey because Wadey was funny. He didn't have a lot of lines. He got the right dude. And on the stage play. And then so I read that, and then Carol Nunn, man, she said, "Man, I want you to come back and read for John Ridge." And I came back and I read for John Ridge, and I never acted a day in my life. I never, and she gave me the lead role. So I had to learn all that, and I would watch videos or, do the best I could for reenactments of John Ridge or whatever. And the same way that he was speaking, I kind of heard that in Chief Hoskin Day, the way he was talking. It's like he was preaching revival or something. And so I kind of did that, and then got the part in that, and then Killers of the Flower Moon reached out to me, and, offered me a small role as Bill Simpson. And so, another TV show called Panhandle. But I bought my SAG card out whenever I became SAG eligible. I paid it all off. And, yeah, so I got to pay a little more attention to it. But honestly, it's all in timing. It's all in God's timing. That's anybody I want to share that out there with. Is like, don't wait on it. You got to go toward it, because I go toward acting. I go toward auditions. But it's going to happen when it happens. But you got to believe it's going to happen.
Well,
I have a question.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for our future generation coming into healthcare?
The future generation in healthcare is to really push and promote preventive measurements, preventive, healthy, healthy choices, healthy lifestyles, live healthy, think healthy, come in knowing that we're going to empower and strengthen our tribal communities in the health sector. And don't, I don't want to say the word don't. I feel like I'm getting on the people, but be that example. Like there's days I get up, I'll be honest with you, man, I don't want to go work out. I don't want to go lift weights, but I go do that. Sometimes I don't want to eat healthy, but I go do that because, one, you're promoting something, you're making a decision to, live healthy habits and things like that. We all have our setbacks. I think be an example. Don't talk it, but walk it. Anybody.
everyone always likes a good meat pie.
You know what I'm saying, bro? Come on.
We were just,
Are you just talking about? No, don't get on me.
Give me a meat pie and a Coke, bro. It's home. But I'll be out there the next day on that track.
That's all that counts.
Yeah.
Really show up.
Thank you for that question.
yeah, is there any other questions?
Not at the moment, but I will say that Tom Leary is the way to go. Thank you guys, and everyone's really excited to have this collaboration and seeing this go live. So
Yeah, I'm so proud of you. Yeah, I'm glad you reached out. I'm really proud of you, man. And, you come from a good man, and you've done a great job, representing your family. And man, I'm honored. I'm honored to sit on here with you all, and it's good to see everybody in this room. I'm proud of each and every one of you guys are on the front line. So, hey, any advice before I get out of here, man? Get on the front line and don't be on the second row. Get in there, be one of a kind, make a difference, make an impact.
I have another question for you. Curious what you consider the hardest race on the track.
The hardest race on the track is probably the 1,500 meter run, because it's a sprint. When you get to that level, it's an absolute sprint. And there's no such thing as, getting in a little box and just cruising until the last lap. It's a muscle. My favorite race was the 800 because it was a sprint, and I love just rolling up on people and just having that extra gas. But my ultimate race, my biggest race ever in my life, was walking around, not even a race, but walking around my reservation. About 20 years ago, I did a wellness walk for Broken Indian Reservation, 251 miles. I missed the first day, so I walked 235 miles in 9 days.
Oh my.
235 miles in 9 days. Toughest journey of my life.
Is that an annual thing?
It used to be. Then, they kind of replaced it with semi trucks. Walking out of the truck.
Yeah, in high school, and me skiing, several others, we qualified for Kansas relays, and we were up there in high school. They 800 started it off, and then this distance medley.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I'm getting intimidated because all these other Kansas runners are like, what'd you do? I said, slow time, 155. And I was like, well, the good thing I was making 159 with those seconds.
Yeah.
It mean a lot. But
Yeah.
I get what you're, those journeys when you do those walks.
Mhm.
I did the same thing for my father a few years ago.
Yeah.
He was a World War II POW, and he was a prisoner of war of the Japanese for 3.5 years. So every year, the U.S. Army has and that's
Oh,
marathon
yeah.
and a half marathon. It's out, you're out saying
Yeah.
it's brutal.
Oh, I hate running sand.
But I walked it.
I love walking.
There was one portion, it was called the sand. And literally, it was one walking up in sand. But when you cross the finish line, you know what? You cross the finish line. I did it, accomplish those things, just like in life.
Yeah.
And when the Lord, puts things and He's put these things in there for you.
Yeah.
And you finish one race, and you're ready for it.
Yeah. And you better be ready for it.
Whatever you're doing now is prepared.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's good. Yeah, you're right on. It's a blessing to be able to get up and do something. I want to encourage that to everybody out there. You're not too busy to take care of yourself. You're not too busy to, try to find that healthiness. It's hard, man. It's hard. There's times, but before I get out there, I live by 4 ways. I always share this. The 4 P's. I know it sounds crazy, but I was thinking you got to be the person first. You got to get up, say a prayer. You got to go run. You got to have your alone time. You do got to have your alone time. That's one of the best forms of health out there is having a alone time. You don't always got to be with everybody. Yeah. So you have to have that. You got to be that person first before you walk out that bedroom door or before you walk out that house. The second thing is you got to be a product. It's up to you to be a product. What do you want to be? What do you want to show today? Because whenever you come into the office, whenever you get up on a stage, that's the product that you're showing. Third thing is the production. No matter what, just stay busy. Be busy, be busy, be busy. I've done plenty of auditions. I missed out on some. Turned in whatever proposals to MC events and be speakers. I've been turned down, but just stay with it, lean forward every day. And the fifth one is the profit. The profit isn't the money. The profit isn't the fame. The profit isn't who you know. The profit is the blessing. It's the freedom. It's the peace. It's the happiness. And that's just where I'm broke, but I'm happy. So, you live by that, man. You're like you said, man. You're ready for the next thing. You're ready for the next race. So let's go, man.
Well, we appreciate Chance for us being here. He's emceeing the National Indian Health Board, so if you're here, come. Don't ignore him like that. Ignored him earlier. Come say hello to these persons.
Chance, how can somebody get in touch with you if they wanted to?
Man, chancerush.com. I do appreciate that. I'm also on my socials at Chance Lee Rush. But I'm ready to come preach, speak, MC, facilitate. I do really cool things with the professional development. I got a DJ I travel with, Rudy Indigenous, phenomenal, and we do music and motivation. Man, we're just ready. Hey, I can MC your power if you need to. Let's go.
Well, we will drop your information in the comments.
And when the book comes out, go get the book.
When the book comes out, you go to chancerush.com or find me somewhere. Make sure you get a copy. Chance happened. All right, October. Let's go.
All right.
Thank
Well, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm gonna take your mic.
Okay.
And we can shake hands here. I'm gonna take your mic and I'm gonna take over here our next guest to come out.
And make the quick.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Come this way.
Okay.
All right. So
That's all mine.
we're still live here at the National Indian Health Board Conference. This is the Coffee Talk with Incenna, and we're having our next guest come join us. It's Mr. Nicholas Barton, Executive Director of Southern Plains Tribal Health Board, Cheyenne Arapaho. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Nick. Tell us what you're currently doing, your role. Just let the people know who you are.
Oh, yeah, remember that. Yeah, there's a whole slew of people that really don't. All that information.
Well, wonderful. Pleasure to be here. And Melissa's living into her role. I researched this show just a moment ago. And sorry, folks, I'm no chance rush, but it can be a little dry. So we're going to keep this lively. Here's some talk that I get to be here today. And again, thank you for the invitation. So my name is Nick Barton. I serve as Executive Director of the Southern Plains Tribal Health Board. And we do a lot of work in Indian country. And so I always try to minimize things, but people always tell, you got to tell about the work, So I did reluctantly agree to be on your show here. And so thank you. Thank you all. Pleasure. Plus, this guy over here, Chairman, he's also my supervisor. No, it just works out to be here at the National Indian Health Board here in Chandler, Arizona, on the lands of Gila River. And this is an annual conference, brings a lot of people together, tribal health. And when I say tribal, we're talking about American Indian, Alaska Native work people. The Southern Plains Tribal Health Board, we're a nonprofit organization based in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and we serve the 43 federally recognized tribes in Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. We also work with 5 urban Indian programs that spread throughout that area as well. And our main role with the organization is to provide support to and service to our tribal nations. And we do that through a variety of programs, mainly the Tribal Epidemiology Center, the CORE program. Mm-hmm. That is a nationwide program funded by Indian Health Service, and that provides epidemiology and biostatistics service as well as evaluation. We talk about program evaluation because a lot of our tribal nations grant programs and seeing how effective these grants are important. And so it's just a support mechanism. The organization also does a lot of other work in the areas of public health.
And talk about the relationship with Southern Plains and the National Health Board. Mm-hmm. How we're connected.
So how we're connected there is the federal government has set up the Indian Health Service in 12 distinct areas, and that's been going on for a number of years. IHS has only been founded since 1955. But when it comes to the National Indian Health Board, that is the ultimate organization that works with 12 area Indian health boards. Again, Southern Plains being one of them. And we send up a liaison to be on that board to provide an area perspective. And it really works out to provide a unified voice for Indian country. And that's the goal of National Indian Health Board. That's also a goal of Southern Plains, bring diverse tribes together and work together on common issues that affect tribal nations.
It's also talk about your community, you being a citizen. You used to be a clinic director. Was a clinic director there?
Overall health director.
Overall. So talk about your time there.
How did I get into the business? How one dark stormy night. Literally 2003, I did a year, I call it a year of service. Worked at our tribal casino. And that year was hellacious because I learned a lot. I did a lot of doubles, and working in smoke is not always ideal, but it was also a time to give back. I think that is give back, but it also provided employment. Then there happened to be a job open at the residential treatment center, and it was entry level, and I just applied. So at that time, $7.45.
Oh wow!
That was in 2004. That started my entry into public health or into health. And from there, went back out to education, finished up school after dropping out for 5 years, and just continued on. And I am Shining Bright Hope, Western Oklahoma, and
just learning about contract, learning about Indian Health Service. I just, took in information, took in knowledge. And then we had a tribal election in 2013, and we had a new governor. By then, we had 2 different governors as well. But we had a new governor, and by then I had graduated, and he asked me, hey, can I nominate you? Will you work with me? Can you be part of my administration? And so as the executive director of health for the tribe. So 2014, accepted the position. Tell you nothing's more frightening than getting interviewed by 8 elected officials. 8 elected tribal officials being there and passed with unanimous support. And it's just been my role ever since, top level leadership and really bringing forth learning, understanding, bringing that voice of what really affects our tribal people. So I worked in various roles, from community health, and working with partnerships of Indian Health Service, even overseeing emergency medical, seeing the ambulance, overseeing the ambulance, ambulance people, EMS.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
But,
I believe in you, sir.
my dad said this, that you get no better. There's no other ways to explain it. The personal pride that you get. You work for people, even though you may not be an elected official, but you're taking care. When I was with Squid Creek, I did, and I'm sure that did the same thing to you. Like, hey, we need this. Can we get this happening? But being able to take care of you, and that's what we always say. Who better to take care of your own than yourself?
And that's really, we can take care of ourselves. We grow at home. We always want people to move back, be part of the community. And, you're absolutely right. I've done many a days, many a evenings, many a weekends, just being out there in the community, just bringing good information and helping me an advocate too. That was also a role of working with our tribal health board, of speaking up for people and sharing issues, concerns, and even ideas, right? Working in partnership with the federal government.
I just want y'all to know that we had a question from an audience member.
Okay.
Okay, I missed it a little while ago because it was on the YouTube platform, not on LinkedIn, so I'm bouncing back and forth right now. But your region includes the border state of Texas. Do you see some of your challenges and opportunities as borderless? And do you have recommendations on how we can engage Indigenous communities in Mexico?
Which is, interesting. No, and so the interesting thing about working in the state of Texas is, it borders Oklahoma, but it's so large that in the IHS regions, it's broke up into 3 additional regions served by USET on the Eastern Seaboard. They have 1 tribe. We have the traditional tribe that we work with who have traditional homelands in Mexico. And Albuquerque area Indian Health Board with the Isleta del Sur in El Paso. And even some of our southern tribes, Comanche Nation being one of them, Chickasaws and Choctaws, they have to really broaden their understanding of Texas Medicaid, Texas Health, working with information. So while, our tribes that are based in Oklahoma, we've also had to work in, across state lines, but also understand how the state of Texas works. So what question on that? How you work best with them?
Do you have recommendations on how we can engage Indigenous communities in Mexico?
Really don't, but supporting our tribal nation that actually has that and, has that part of their scope, original homelands across the board. I think that's, I'll listen to our conversation.
Let's say, invite them to come, because Indigenous people, We love to eat. We love to meal.
But I'll keep telling them me that.
But you know, when you have a
property.
when you have a meal, you break bread with someone. It depends on a personal level. If there's issues that are there, you know, you can just talk freely and be able to do that.
And that's always been my experience as well, especially meeting new folks. I mean, it's how we got introduced was over dinner. And meeting with new people, you always kind of think, well, what's the best thing? And that's why it's an allowable business expense. You can get to go out and have too. So, you know, a little bit of tidbit there. Make sure you talk business a little bit, and then you can have the right.
Hey,
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, Ms. Brenda, I just wanted to say she appreciates the structural breakdown within the tribal organizations. We're all collaborating together to meet the country.
And that's a great thing too. There's always collaboration. There's opportunities available to help, you know, strengthen Indian country. And you know, it's one of the reasons why I'm on here today, talk a little bit about kind of what we're, you know, what we've got planned and how we can support at least our tribes in the area. So, you know, kind of into that.
oh, well, there was one thing I want you to talk about that Southern Plains has been doing with youth. You know, there's a shortage of healthcare workers all around Indian country, and we need native doctors, native nurses to get into these professions, to come and not just work for your people, but other all around Indian country are experiencing shortages of healthcare professionals. And so, but Southern Plains has been working with the Native youth, having them come and do internships. Can you talk a little bit about that program and how you had the youth come in and then they reached out and then they came and talked about big day where they were doing presentations and stuff.
Yes, would love to, and thank you for that. It's one of my many favorite programs. I mean, being executive director of the organization, I love all my employees equally, but you know, each program I support in a variety of ways. And you know, sbkhb.org, visit our website, learn more about it. But let me talk about our thesis program, Tribal Health Experiential Student Internship Seminar. It is a CDC funded grant and it's called the John R. Lewis Public Health Scholars Undergraduate Program. Very unique program. We are one of 7 organizations throughout the nation, the Tribal Health Board being the only non-academic institution. Thank you. Help me out.
Okay. Keep going. Keep going.
No, I can't get rid of following.
So, yeah, messages.
So, the thesis program. We hear all across Indian country that we need to invest in our people, and one way we can do that is, you know, opening the doors, sharing information. What is health? What is tribal health? What is tribal public health? How does that differ from mainstream, you know, society? And it really is, because we have different ways, we have different customs. No, one tribe is one tribe. All tribal nations are vastly different. I mean, me being Shanarapaho, my friend here being Comanche, we're both Plains Indians, but we've also kind of different regions. We have different backgrounds. So creating this program, it's an 8-week paid internship for college undergraduates or recently graduated. And it's the beauty of it is online, it is a virtual program. And at the end of the program, we come together and they do a poster presentation project. Before COVID, everybody went to Atlanta to do these share the posters. When CDC went through some restructuring back in 2025, they discontinued that. So we, you know, co-opted, thought differently, and instead brought interns from across the nation, mostly in our service area, to Oklahoma City and created a showcase. But before the showcase, I mean, the internship, it pairs the student with a mentor and an area of interest within epidemiologists, public health, behavioral health, suicide prevention, and the like. A very unique program, and
How many students do you have this year?
this year we had 40,
Oh, wow.
and over the
Pretty decent.
course of the 4 years that we've had the program, we've, I guess, if you think education, matriculated 180 students. It's a very unique program. We're looking forward to year 5. And say, this is going against the likes of UCLA, Morehouse College, Kennedy Krieger Institute, and being the only non-academic institution, quite proud of that, and really focusing on the needs of tribes and just educating more people, how to work with tribes and how to understand, a lot of nuances. I mean, that's one of those things that I was to figure out.
When I was young, there was Charles Healthcare. I wasn't interested in that. I was interested in computers.
And then there's so much more than
Was
doctor and dentist,
Yeah,
counselors,
I was gonna think-
epidemiologists, community health, peer support specialists,
Very good.
EMS. So just a whole lot of variety of positions, and just getting people excited about working in tribal health, serving tribes.
So currently Southern Plains is working on some studies to help out the 43 tribes and see about consortium staff at EHR. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that and what led you to do that?
Right, the meat,
Sorry.
the
Yeah,
meat of
come
the
in.
relation. No, so yes, we heard the needs. There's a need out there in Indian country of tribes who have taken their shares from the federal government of Indian Health Service, and have taken over their own health and hosting these clinics. Well, a clinic operates on a electronic health record these days. Indian Health Service has an antiquated system, which, granted, they are in the process of upgrading and moving forth with the IHS path, EHR. Many tribes before this came on took all of their shares and, went for off the shelf electronic health records. Some are okay, others like features. And so, once you buy something, you figure out, hey, does this really work the way I want it to? Most often, no. And then, prices have increased and things have changed. There's been vendor buyouts here and there. So some of our tribes, really looking for a better system. Now there's, large mainstream EHRs out there. Some of our tribes don't necessarily meet minimums. And so like minimum annual visits, encounters, and, or it's just too cost prohibitive when people want a top of the line system.
Financial resources to
For the IT support as well.
IT support, that is a big, major, concern among smaller tribes. I mean, I think I'm telling stories on here, but I believe you have a lone IT person who covers the whole nation where you work at. And, that's not enough. And then, so, taking that, hearing concerns, and actually have 2 tribal nations bring me tribal resolutions to say, hey, Southern Plains Tribal Health Board, look at this as an opportunity. And so I did a little bit of research, almost a year-long research, and then contracted with a firm called Incentive to do a feasibility study for our organization. The idea is if we can pool resources, we pool members, leverage what we can through our tribal nations in like an umbrella organization or going forth as a consortium. Can we bring better value to our tribal nations? And this is not a new idea. It's happened across the nation already. There's already a well-established resolution for GRID. California Rural Indian Health Board has the consortium going. They're unique. And so it's new to them. So tribal nations have a history of being able to work together. So this is what I'm excited about. And so doing this feasibility study just to see if we know, is there indeed interest? Can we leverage pooled resources? And what we don't know, we don't know. So this is an opportunity for us to find out, what's the landscape. So we're excited, and we're in the midst of right now going out interviewing interested tribal nations. We have a survey ready to be developed. We're just in that process of looking for more information at the moment and to get a feasibility study back so I can present it to my board of directors for consideration as a new program for the organization.
And I always feel like, and some tribes may not want to work with other tribes, but if we all work together, it makes us stronger collectively if we would do that. Put aside some of our differences, and there's a lot of things that we could do if we would collaborate. And there's a lot of that happening in the country right now, especially with modernization of EHR. But what's going to happen in the future? It's kind of you're looking at the HR, but the big thing now is artificial intelligence. And where's that coming? Where's that going to be with Indian healthcare? And you look across Indian country, it's like no data centers, especially where you see the impact on the environment of some of these communities that have the water, the noise, and everything. And some people are really hesitant. Even in Oklahoma, there's been some tribes want to do something, but the citizens reached out to stop that. But we got to somehow work together, because I believe there can be means that AI can be helpful, but if tribal nations take that approach and do it themselves, like governance, this is our data. We can utilize AI for ourselves, not let anyone else dictate that. I think it could be very helpful in doing preventative programs, or maybe even creating new applications that we haven't even thought about. But that's kind of the exciting thing being in healthcare. Healthcare is ever evolving. It never changes. There's always something happening. It seems like every 5 years there's a new one. So after AI in 5 years, there'll be something else. And 10 years from now, there'll be something else.
Quite scary and very future forward thinking. I really believe in working with tribes. My organization, the Health Board, has a great history of working in consortium work, working with coalitions, being part of groups. I mean, tribal nations are leading the way in really tribal healthcare overall. And, I'm excited about this opportunity through the feasibility study, because at least this organization, I've been part of a coalition that taken 4 vastly different, unique tribes and coming together under one cause, culture-based prevention. And we really leaned into that. 4 different tribes came up with different slogans, different ways to interact with the community. But when everybody has the same mission, the vision, the idea to come together and work together, great things can happen. And so And, to go further, always on the minds of tribes is data and sovereignty. And, we have real concerns about, ownership, where stuff is going to land, who has access to it. Because if you learn anything else here, folks, tribes have inherent rights to their own digital data sovereignty. And so just be respectful.
NIL, name, image, and likeness. Huh? Where's our contracts? Where's the contract? US. You're going to use my name, image, likeness. Give me some money.
Yes. But true story is tribal logos. Don't just free will use anyone else's logo. I think we understand that, especially tribal nations. So ask for permission, gain that understanding, and get it right too. That way you have the approval. Right.
Well, we are, again, we're here live at the National Indian Health Board. Nicholas Martin. Where did you go, Nick? Being here at this conference, what's one of the things that you're looking to get at? I mean, there's a lot of sessions going on. There's a lot of speakers going on. But what's one thing that you're always excited when you come here? Session, speaker, or just collaborating or networking.
Other than getting out of work for a little bit.
Yeah.
It seems like I do a lot more work here. And it's always great to be out here. And I think it depends on your career path of where you're learning new things, always learning something new, attending the sessions, or the way one tribe showcases what they're doing with behavioral health, for instance. Always love what we have here for the vendor fair, going through, seeing the exhibitors, learning something new, being able to connect a vendor with the tribal nation. Because in my position, I hear a lot of what the need is in our tribe. And I always try to take it upon myself to help, do a link and make connection. And really the networking, I've been in tribal health for 22 years now, made a lot of friends along the way. Don't know about enemies, but usually we can do that too. But I saw a friend here and we chit-chatted for about an hour, catching up on everything. And also my time, I've also worked with a lot of federal agencies. So it's always great to see folks from the federal agencies here coming to support Indian country. And, beyond the networking, you always get up-to-date information from what's going on from the federal agencies, and excited that we have a new Indian Health Service director, and so looking forward to where the future goes from there. But all that to say, the networking, seeing friends, seeing people, and yes, of course, we do get our work on. We do have to work.
It's been a great experience. I've enjoyed this collaboration.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Well, thank you, everybody. Gonna sign off right now. Kim is trying to figure out how to do that.
Pleasure to be here.
Talk to y'all later.
Drink water.